家午安，然后我是下午场的 host。今天的第一个在下午打开的议程呢是 Why we need designer in open source projects。然后这个议程会比较特别，它是英文的哦，全英文的，对。那大家加油，好不好？然后我稍微介绍一下，待会的豆腐它是 G0V 的，就是我们更多的这个社团细节，让他用英文跟大家介绍，会不会有点狠？你要嘴巴喷就喷2个声道，我就让你。对 ，I'm sorry， 我 we。然后这一个空间呢是由Woman Tent Maker WTN， 然后 GDG 底下非营利组织所 hold 的场。那我们有一个很重要的文化需要宣导的是，当你进来这个空间，你就同意了 DEI 文化，就是多样性、公平跟共融。在这里，每个人的空间，每个人的声音都应该是一样的。然后因为来自不同的环境，所以我们尊重别人不同的发言。OK 吗？笑一下，拜托各位。我在上面看着，我好尴尬。那如果待会会后有什么问题啊，或者是对豆腐的议题，或者是他的人生背景啊，什么各种有兴趣的话，也很欢迎你们就是在外面做讨论，然后我们就会往下一个议程走。然后你们非常幸运，外面下雨了，所以你们就可以听更多议程，基于环境限制。剩1分钟。
嗨，大家下午好吗？这是我人生中第一次 this is my first ever speech in English, so I would maybe I would be a little nervous or something. So yeah, I need some help from you guys, help me to cheer up and maybe not that nervous or something. Yeah. So yeah, I'm like super nervous. I don't even know how to get into the slideshow.
No.
Yeah. How can I? Oh, yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. And my name is Topaz, and my Mandarin name is Wang Fuxuan. You can also call me Terry. And I'm a UX designer at National Taiwan University, but also I'm a contributor in GovZero Taiwan. And for those who didn't have any concept about GovZero Taiwan is one of the open source community based in Taiwan, and it's focused on civic tech, information transparency, and open resource and results and collaboration. And some of the projects will engage with public efforts due to some special context in the community of Taiwan. And for example, like Be Taiwan and This Factory and like Kofax or something. Yeah, and here are the things that we'll cover today. Today, I'm going to share my experience in open source communities, for example, GovZero Taiwan, and I'm going to talk about the reasons of why you or designers should contribute in open source community. And I will explain the roles of a designer in open source project development process. And at the last, I will talk about the ways to contribute your design into open source community. Yeah, so maybe we can get started. First, I'm going to share my experience. Yeah, this is me, and this is my first ever hackathon that I ever attend in GovZero community. And yeah, this is a YouTube video of my final presentation. And at that time, I'm like trying to develop a platform or service for the high school students to help them to find their side project partners. Yeah, and this is the thing that I create in the hackathon. And as you can see, it is a workflow chart of services. Yeah, and after that, I keep contributing in GovJoy community for like 2 years, and I found that in GovJoy community, the amount of designers was the amount of developer is way more than designers. As you can see, tons of developer, but only have like 2 or 3 designer in the community. And as a designer in the community, some of the developer friends who are developer would ask me that, hey, Tofus, do you have any time to help us like refine our design of our product? Every time they ask me like that, I will respond that sorry, but I didn't have any time to contribute to the project, and I'm super sorry about that. So that's this is the picture that demonstrate the developers in GovJoy community. They just like keep building their projects, and like they didn't have any designer friends to like co-pilot their project. They didn't have any partners to help them build projects together. Usually they build the projects by themselves. Yeah. And this is the one of the projects that built in the GovJoy community. And as you can see, this project is built by only one developer by himself. And yeah, it is a achievement system of GovJoy community. And as you can see, because this project is only built by one developer, the design is like not very useful, and like some picture has crashed, and only using the blue link for the button or something. Yeah. So yeah, this is one of the GovJoy project. Another one is built by another developer in community, and he's super amazing, but and he built this all by himself. But yeah, but he's developer, so he didn't have that much time to like consider some details that designers will consider. For example, the RWD. Yeah, because this project is built in is based on desktop version. So because that developer didn't have many time to do the project, so he didn't consider the design of the mobile version of this platform. Yeah. So yeah, the main point is we need more designers. GovJoy community needs more designers, but yeah. Let's explain current situation. As you can see, over 78% of companies in the world use open source software, and I don't know why this icon moves to here, but yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it was like almost like 80% of the companies in the world use open source software, and there are many of the developers are likely to use open source software because of the nature of the open source software, because they can quickly edit the source code and like build their own things based on the open source projects. Yeah, to meet their needs. But in most of the open source projects are built by only one developer and no designers involved. And yeah, the developer they often build the whole stuff just by themselves, including design, coding, and like everything. Yeah. And yeah. Because there's two of the most valuable economic resources when we are building stuff, and that is time and energy. Yeah, so it's unreasonable to ask every developer to develop an open source software perfectly only by themselves. They need the help from designers. Yeah, as you can see, this is a diagram of product design process, and when we wanna build a product, we need to experience the design process and the development process. And often in the field of open source projects, they often only consider the development process and ignores the design process. And they are both important. Yeah. So designers and developers are actually doing the same thing, and that is building a product. And designers are responsible on solving questions like what things should we build, and developers are responsible on solving questions like how to build it right. Yeah, and this is a time allocation to illustrate the time allocation of the difference between developers and designers. I drew 2 diagrams about their time management. Yeah. For developers, they use almost 70% of their time on coding and doing project management in 15%, and doing miscellaneous things in 5%, only do design process for only 10%, I guess. And for designers, when they are doing their side projects or when they are contributing to the open source projects, they often use like 70% in the design process, which is 35% in user research process and 35% in design. And most of the time, they spend 20% of their time in project management, because often their outcome will be the case study on the platforms such as Medium or Figma design file or something. And they do miscellaneous in 9%, maybe 1% of coding or something, because I know that there are some designers love to add some little code into their design. Yeah, and let's take an example of their side projects. Yeah, from the developers' side, we can see their side projects are able to achieve the harder technique. Are able to implement harder techniques in their outcomes in their contributions, because they can code and they know how to build the product and make sure it was functionable, and their contributions are often highly functional, and it can live on the internet and be published on or even published on the App Store. But there's some cons of the developers' contribution in the open source community, and that is lack of usability and accessibility, and often not look very good on its appearance, as you can see, just like this. Yeah. And from the designer's side, their contributions in open source community, here's the pros, and their pros is like meet users' needs, and it has better appearance, look better than the previous site. Better appearance, and it have higher user satisfaction, because we also usually do some user research before we build the product. So yeah, we know what are the user thinking. But there's also some cons, and that is for the contributions from the designers, they can use the harder techniques when they are contribute in the open source community, because because we can code. We didn't have that much ability to like considering how can a technique can be applied into a open source project. So and most of the time, we cannot imagine the things that are too hard, because we are not sure that whether can the developers are able to code it out. Yeah, and sometimes it is not functional, and it just look like a toy, because because the contributions from the designers are often the Figma file or something, and it is like a digital prototype. And as everyone knows, digital prototypes are not a real product. It's just a demonstration of how this product works, just like this PPT or something. Yeah, somebody designer would like to doing prototypes in PPT. Yeah, and building a product is just like running a relay race, and collaboration between designer and developer is crucial to open source projects success. Yeah. So how to collaborate in open source community? And there's 2 ways. Oh, yeah, the slides has crashed. One way is to collab in sync, and another one is collab in async. Yeah. And let's talk about how to collaborate in sync. And not talk about is the pros and cons of sync. Oh, I forget that. So let's talk about the pros of sync collaboration. And the pros is we can have real-time communication because we can discuss the things about the projects in real time or something. We can like communicate with real people, and we can have simultaneous participation because everyone are in the same place. And we can reduce misunderstanding because misunderstanding can be reduced by communications. Yeah. But there's also some cons of sync collaboration, and the constraint is the time constraint, interruption, and delayed responses. The time constraint is like some of the contributors are not able to because their schedule is not always the same, and you cannot require everyone to join. To join the meeting at the same time. So sometimes some projects will using the collaboration mode of async. Yeah, but yeah, and oh no, oh sorry, this is a sorry, I was like too nervous. Yeah. Here's the pros of async collaboration, and the pros is it has flexible schedule and it can collaborate in cross time zone, and we can have a lot of contribution because we can like doing work by ourselves and thoroughly thinking. Yeah, we can 天哪，我不行了，好，就是我想一下，就是我们可以想清楚，然后我们可以做出就是比较就是yeah we can do complete project online, and when we can think before we leave or something. Yeah, and the cons of async collaboration is you have to wait for the work from the previous person. So if your project is applied the collaboration mode of async, you will have to wait for other people. So there's a cons of it, and information sometimes is async, and not everyone knows the context. So so it's also the points that's not good, and sometimes it neglects the urgencies because you have to wait, and you will have to take even longer times for people to like contribute to your project. So here's some tips when you're choosing your collaboration method. And so if your project is have to solve rapid issue resolution and is urgent, you can use a sync method. And if you need some flexible schedule and cross time zone collaboration, you can use async. Yeah. Yeah, here's the point: is that you have to release early, release often when we are doing your project because if you release early, release often, you can gain more feedback from your user or from your developer, and you can make your products even good. Yeah, and here's a tool I use in design collaboration: is Slack, Figma, and HackMD. And there are. Slack is for channel discussion because the GovZero community communicates on the Slack platform, and I usually use Figma to do my design because it is online and everyone can access to it by a link. And we use HackMD for documentation because everyone and every project on GovZero use HackMD to make everyone in the same page. Yeah. So this is Slack. And we we have some channel and we discuss our projects in the channel, and this is Figma, and like I do every kinds of design in Figma, not just like UI design. For example, last winter I designed a varsity jacket for the GovZero community, but Jothon didn't have that much money to make it. So yeah, I just put the design file onto the Figma community, and if they have enough money, they can just take it from the community and just print it or something. Yeah, and I even use it to make the party map of our anniversary party in last year. Yeah. And this is HackMD, and HackMD is it's a Node app based in Taiwan, and the feature of it is it can do real life collaboration in the nodes. So most of the projects in GovZero love to use this product. But however, GovZero Taiwan didn't have a clear way for designers to contribute their works. For example, this is a GitHub page, but the things that stored in this repository is the logo of GovZero Taiwan. I remember that in that time I want to do some design changes with the GovZero logo, but I have to find this repository and open the file and like download every file on the in the GitHub repository to check whether it's the documents that I need. But it is very not designer friendly actually. Yeah. So I would like to invite everyone out here to having a discussion in GovZero Hackathon. It's at August 26th, and it's at Institute of Information Science Academia Sinica. I would like to invite everyone to come to the hackathon and discuss about how can we collaborate in design in the open source community. Because actually, in most of the open source community, we didn't have a proper way to collaborate to exchange our design file and collaborate in our design process. So yeah. You can scan this code for hackathon tickets, and you can scan this code for join the GovZero Slack. Yeah, and if you cannot join us in person, you can just follow designer channel in GovZero Slack, and we will have discussion out there, and maybe we can have some online discussion after that. And yeah, and this is the QR code for the GovZero Slack. Yeah, and at the end of this session, I would like to say, do not ask why nobody does this, because you are that nobody. And this is a famous phrases in the GovZero community, because it encouraged the people not to complain on everything. Because you can actually just take an action or something. Yeah. So that's all of this session, and thanks for listening. We still have 10 minutes, and everyone can ask some questions. And I know that I maybe didn't explain that clear, because I'm actually quite nervous or something. So do you guys have any questions to ask? 你们可以用中文问也没关系。OK。That's a great question. I've just heard another friend, and he's also a designer, and he said that the best interaction between designers and developer is just like we are co-piloting together, and we are building stuff together, and we communicate simultaneously. If we have any kinds of ideas or something, we can share it in real time or something. So I think that would be perfect. Yeah. Do you guys have any question? 你们大家还有什么问题吗？大家可以用中文问哦，没有关系。或者是你们想回答刚刚那个问题也可以。假如你是工程师或设计师，你怎么跟另外 就是你们认为最完美的工程师跟设计师合作的方式是什么？就是对，好，好啊。没错，没错，没错，没错，非常的没错哦。嗯嗯嗯。你是说就是那些 project manager 在做那些就是在经营协作的时候，可能会就是他可能并不是完全的了解，就是整个专案的context 这样子。如果是我身为一个设计师的角度的话，我可能会先问他说，就是你们想要针对就是解决那个问题的那个客群到底是谁，然后就是我可能会站在使用者的角度去思考这个问题，就是我可能会扮演一个使用者，然后来去回答他们的问题，这样子，这是我自己的就是自己来进行榜首的方式，这样子，对，没有错。大家还有什么问题想问吗？就是嗨。Design community. Oh, that's a great question. There are many kinds of design communities in Taiwan, but most of them are just like having some events and not invite, gather the designers in Taiwan at the place and maybe have some sessions or like classes or something. For example, IXDA is the it's a kind of organization about that, and yeah, and there are some of the design communities such as Figma, Friends of Figma Taiwan, and but they actually didn't work at during these times or something. Yeah, yeah, and that's the answer. Yeah， 大家还有什么问题吗？就是对我知道我可能解释的没有到特别清楚。没有错，就是好，我可以给大家再重新给一下 concept， 就是就那个 context， 就是我自己是 G0V 的设计师，然后时常在就是 G0V 的专案里面跟工程师进行协作。然后我今天这个简报其实想要谈的问题是，就是想要跟大家聊的是，就是其实事实上 G0V 里面的组成大多数都是工程师，但是设计师就是真的蛮少的。然后绝大多数的开源专案都是由工程师自己去写成的。然后基本上是没有什么工程师的帮助，没有什么来自于设计师的帮助，所以大多数时候他们自己 build 出来的东西，因为就是他们就是擅长 coding 嘛，然后他们在 build 那些东西的时候，可能就只有想着我要怎么把这个东西，我想要 build 的一个东西，那我要怎么把这个东西 build 出来？但他们可能没有去思考说 ，OK， 我这个东西是要为谁而 build， 然后我build 这个东西是为了要解决什么样的问题？所以蛮多在 G0V 的 project， 其实 G0V 有700多个 project 哦，就是在 G0V 的很多 project 里面，其实很多都是那种就是 build 出来，然后不知道给谁用，然后就大家都没有在用，然后就放在那边这样子，就是非常常发生的一个情况。这样子，所以我今天想要跟大家聊的是，就是我们需要更多的设计师，然后设计师应该要用什么样的方式来去参与这个社群，然后就是现在就是台湾的开源社群有一个很大的问题是我们并没有一个公开的可以就是大家一起协作的设计平台，就是如果你想要在那个开源社群里面去进行设计上的协作的话，你必须要切换非常多的工具，比方说像是我自己是一个 UX 设计师，那我可能会比较 prefer 就是用 Figma 来去进行协作，但是呢。有一些就是在开源社群里面，设计师可能是平面设计师哦，然后他们有可能是3D 设计师，他们可能是插画家，那他们就是协作方式可能又都不一样，因为就是 Figma is a tool for only UX UI designer and it is not for like graphic designer or something， 就是他们就是每一个设计师他们使用的工具都不太一样。然后就是还有一个很大的问题就是说，就是因为开源这个东西它最重要的一个点就是这些档案必须要能够让 就是在彼此之间传来传去嘛，对吧？但是呢，就是大家只要稍微关注一下设计圈里面的生态，就会发现，就是很多开源软体，很多设计软体，他们都是闭源的，所以就说这些文件理论上是没有办法被共享的，他们是没有办法就是被传来传去。比方说像 以 Figma 来说好，它其实是有些东西是需要专业版的功能才可以去使用。然后像 Sketch 它也是一个需要付费的软体，你每一年需要花费$99在那上面，就是也是一个费用。然后 Adobe 全家桶就更不用说了，它就是你必须要每年付不少钱才可以就是使用他们的服务这样子。就是然后呢，就是更有趣的是，就是那些设计师所设计出来的那些 file 啊，很多都是只有那些软体可以去使用的。意思就是说，你今天想要开源，有时候可能还不够，因为就是你从那个软体里面设计出来的东西，可能本身就不是开源的，它并不是所有人都可以打开的东西，所以这是一个很大的问题。所以我才想要邀请大家来参加，就是我们在8月23号，8月26号，应该是星期六，在中研院资讯所的黑客松，我想要邀请大家一起来讨论这个问题，就是如果说大家想要用，就是在开源软体里面使用更好的设计的话，我们该怎么做？这样子，这才是我想要传达的重点。就是很抱歉，就是好，你说。对，没有错。没错，没错。对啊，对啊，对啊，这是一个很大的一个问题所在，因为就是台湾的工程师其实绝大多数都是后端工程师，前端的话其实相对比例就少蛮多的。然后就是对，如果说对方是一个前端工程师，他们或许还可以 cover 掉一点前端设计部分，比方说像前面这个，看一下哦，这个50页超多，好，我想一下，像，等下应该在更前面。哦，1 minute， 好，我们赶，哦，等下，啊，我找不到那一页，好，等我一下，好，我找一下，好，它应该在，哦，对，这里，这个工程师他就会一点前端，虽然他刻出来的东西其实还能看，但是呢，就因为他还是工程师嘛，所以他可能没有办法考虑的那么全面，就是像他这个手机版，他就没有考虑到 RWA 的东西。没有错，对，这也是一个很大的问题。就是台湾的绝大多数的那个想要做开源的工程师，其实很多都是后端背景的，他们可能没有这么多的前端的 skill 这样子。就是对我其实今天想要表达的是，其实在 GMB 里面的大多数专案，就是 PM 这个东西其实相对少，就是没有那么多的 PM，就是其实蛮多专案都是工程师自己一个人干出来的，就是他们想要你知道做功德，你知道吗？然后就是我目前的一个想法，就是如果我们想要做开源设计的东西的话，比方说我们或许可以考虑开源一些像是设计元件的东西，就像是我一开始就是在封面，我们先切出来，然后时间不够，等下。这个
给予你压力的。
哦不，好 OK。好，反正就是像我最近在做的事情，就是因为我是台大的设计师，然后我最近在帮忙就是做台大的开源设计系统，就是然后就刚刚也有一个学长可以愿意帮我写这样子，然后最主要要解决问题是因为我在台大最主要工作就是帮他们更新那些很可怕，然后又有点老旧的资讯页面。就是他们都很90年代，看起来就超级无敌90年代的。然后就是，但他们真的太多系统要改了，然后他们叫我就是改，就是他们叫我这个暑假要做的工作就是要去改掉他们那些页面。但他们页面可能有那个系统啊，还有平台啊，可能就是40个、50个都那么多。就是你要我一个暑假改完这么多，其实也不太可能。你就算给我4年的时间，就是给我改这些，也不太可能。哦，对，我大1升大2，就是对，所以我现在。就算投入这么多时间，我可能也没有办法把所有东西都改完这样子，所以我跟他们提一个方案，就是说，或许我们可以就是直接开发一个 design system， 一个开放的 design system， 然后让有兴趣的人可以直接去用这个用目前现有的这些套件去进行开发这样子，然后目前还在写当中，之后应该会有讯息出来这样子，没有错。大家还有什么问题吗？Do you guys have any questions?
Okay, if no one have any question, this speech is end, and we have 10 minutes for race, and we will back at 1:40. Next topic will be open source of research process. And speaker is me, Sue, and Gary.